Your paycheck is a lie, not like a rounding error, a full, ongoing, completely legal lie. And your employer, the government, and frankly the whole financial system are all in on it together. I made $75,000 last year. At least, that's what it said on my offer letter. Then I actually looked at what hit my bank account, and I'm going to show you exactly what I found. Because nobody warned me. And I'm guessing nobody warned you either. Let's use $75,000 a year. In 2026, that's roughly the median income for a single earner in most mid-size American cities. Not rich, not poor, normal. That $75K gets hit 5 times before you see a dollar. 5 separate deductions, each one quiet, each one automatic. Let's go through them fast. Deduction 1, federal income tax. At $75,000, you're in the 22% marginal bracket for 2026, but you don't pay 22% on everything. That's not how the brackets work. The first $11,925 gets taxed at 10%. The next chunk, up to about $48,475, gets taxed at 12%. Only income above that hits 22%. Added up, your effective federal rate lands around 17%. Still costs you about $12,500 off the top. Deduction 2, state income tax. Depends where you live. Texas, Florida, and 7 other states. No state income tax. Skip this one. California, New York, and most others. You're looking at 4 to 6%. National average for a $75K earner is about 4 to 5%. We'll use 4.5. That's roughly $3,375. Deduction 3, FICA. This is the one that wrecked me on my first real paycheck. FICA. Who is FICA, and why is he taking my money? FICA is the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, and it's actually 2 taxes stacked together. Social Security takes 6.2% of your wages, up to a $176,100 cap in 2026. Medicare takes another 1.45%, no cap. Combined, 7.65% straight off your check. On $75K, that's about $5,737. And here's the part that really stings. Your employer matches that 7.65% on their end. Between you and them, the government is pulling nearly 15% of your salary for these 2 programs. You just only see your half. Deduction 4, health insurance premiums. The average employee contribution for employer-sponsored single coverage in 2026 runs about $1,400 to $2,400 a year. We'll call it $1,800, $150 a month, which is honestly on the lower end for decent coverage. That doesn't include your deductible, your copays, or your prescriptions. That's just the entry fee. Subtract $1,800. Deduction 5, your 401k and the twist inside it. Most people contribute around 6% to get the full company match. On $75K, that's $4,500 going into retirement savings. Technically, that money is still yours. It's growing in an account. But here's what a lot of people miss. It's not fully yours yet. Most 401k employer matches come with a vesting schedule. If you leave in year 1 or 2, you could walk away with 0 of the company match. Full vesting can take 3 to 6 years. If you're job hopping right now, a lot of people are, that free money may not be as secured as you think. And then there's the fund management fees. Expense ratios. The average actively managed fund in a typical 401k charges 0.5 to 1% annually. On a growing balance over a career, that 1% fee quietly drains tens of thousands of dollars. More on that in a few minutes. Subtract $4,500. Start with $75,000. Federal tax, minus $12,500. State tax, minus $3,375. FICA, minus $5,737. Health insurance, minus $1,800. 401k contribution, minus $4,500. You're taking home somewhere around $47,000 to $48,000 a year. About $3,900 a month in your bank account. I call the gap the ghost money. 27 grand. You earned it. It was in the job offer, but it lives somewhere between your employer's payroll system and your checking account, and you never touch it. ever. $27,000 a year. Gone. And we haven't even talked about what that remaining money can actually buy. Let me tell you about pizza. Back in 2020, a large pepperoni at a solid local spot, not fancy, just Friday night pizza, ran about $15. At $75K, working roughly 250 days a year, one day of work bought you a little over 4 pizzas. Now it's June 2026. Same pizza, same place, same pepperoni. That pizza is now $19 to $22. Call it 20. Your $75K now buys about 3.2 pizzas per day of work. Not 4, 3.2. And that's on gross pay, before any deductions. That's what inflation does. It never shows up on your pay stub. Nobody sends you a notice that says, hey, your salary is functionally worth about 18% less than it was 4 years ago. It just quietly happens. Here's the actual math. Cumulative inflation between 2021 and June 2026 has run roughly 18% based on Bureau of Labor Statistics CPI data. In plain terms, a $75,000 salary in 2026 buys roughly what $63,500 bought in 2021. 18% of your purchasing power. Not from bad decisions, just from time passing. And yes, a lot of people got raises over that period. Average wage increases for non-supervisory workers ran about 3 to 4% annually between 2021 and 2026. Compounded, that's a 16 to 20% nominal bump, which sounds like it keeps pace. But prices in the categories that actually dominate your budget, groceries, rent, utilities, car insurance, went up by the same amount or more. You've been running to stay still. Now layer in something specific to 2026, consumer tariffs. The tariffs currently rolling through on imported goods, electronics, appliances, furniture, clothing, have added 3 to 4% to the cost of durable goods on top of regular inflation. Your refrigerator breaks? That replacement costs more than it would have 2 years ago. New laptop? More expensive. Car parts, washing machines, tools, all trending up because of tariff pressure in the supply chain. If you've bought anything large and physical in the last year, you've felt it. It's a second layer of cost hitting your take-home sideways. So, put it all together. $47,000 after taxes. Apply 18% cumulative inflation since 2021. Your real purchasing power is closer to $39,700 in 2021 dollars. Not $75,000. Not even $47,000, closer to $40K in real terms. I'm not saying this to depress you. You can't fix what you can't see. Now you see it, so let's fix it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not selling a course. Here are 3 specific things a normal person making $75K can do right now. Move 1. The HSA, the legal cheat code. If your employer offers an HSA, a health savings account, and you're not using it, you are leaving money on the table in a genuinely embarrassing way. I mean that because it was embarrassing for me when I figured it out. Here's why it's a cheat code. It has 3 tax advantages. Most accounts have 1, maybe 2. This one has 3. 1. Money goes in pre-tax. It reduces your taxable income. Maxing out the 2026 individual limit of $4,300 means you skip income tax on that entire amount. At your effective rate, that's roughly $700 to $800 back. 2. The money grows tax-free inside the account. You can invest it in index funds. The gains aren't taxed. 3. When you spend it on qualified medical expenses, doctor visits, prescriptions, dental, vision, it comes out tax-free too. That triple tax advantage exists nowhere else, and most people just use it as a debit card for copays. Invest the balance. Let it grow. Future you will care a lot. One catch, you have to be enrolled in a high-deductible health plan to be eligible. Check your plan. If you qualify, use it. Move 2. Audit your 401k fees. Open your 401k right now, not after this video, and find what funds you're actually invested in. Then look at one number, the expense ratio. That's the annual fee the fund charges you to manage your money. A 1% expense ratio sounds tiny. Here's what it actually means. If you have $50,000 in your 401k at 45, growing at 7% annually, a fund charging 1% costs you roughly $30,000 to $40,000 over 20 years compared to a low-cost index fund charging 0.03 to 0.05%. That is not a rounding error. That is a chunk of retirement. Most employer plans have at least one cheap index fund, a total market or S&P 500 fund from Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. If yours does, switch to it. You're not sacrificing returns. Actively managed funds underperform cheap index funds over 10 to 20-year periods. Consistently, the data is clear on this. Not financial advice, just math. Move 3. Calculate your true hourly wage. This is the one that actually changed how I spend money. Your real hourly wage is not your salary divided by 2,080 hours. It's what you take home, divided by all the hours you actually give to work. Take your after-tax income, $47,000, or about $3,900 a month. Now count your actual work hours, your 40 hours, plus your commute both ways, plus getting ready, plus answering emails at 9 p.m., plus the after-work decompression that work owns anyway. For most people, a 40-hour job is closer to 50 to 55 hours a week of your life. 50 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, 2,500 hours. 47,000 divided by 2,500 hours equals $18.80 an hour. Before commuting costs, before work clothes, before the convenience food you buy because you're too tired to cook. Now apply that number. That $120 jacket is 6.5 hours of your actual life. Worth it? Maybe. Some things are. But when you convert price to time instead of dollars, your spending changes on its own. No willpower needed, just a different lens. You make $75,000. You take home around $47,000. That $47,000 buys 18% less than it did in 2021, and a little more than that on physical goods, thanks to the tariff situation right now. Your paycheck is a lie. The number on the offer letter is not the number you live on. But the ghost money is real, and so are the moves. HSA if you're eligible. Audit the 401k fees and switch to index funds. Calculate your true hourly wage and use it as a filter. You can't get the 4 pizzas back, but you can stop losing more. If this was useful, hit like. It genuinely helps. And if you know someone who thinks they make $75K, send this to them. Let them do the math. See you in the next one.